Two on the trot, the Pelicans defeat the San Antonio Spurs to win 104-95. The refs did everything they could to take it away from us, giving them free throw after free throw. But the Pelicans, led by Zion Williamson, Saddiq Bey and Trey Murphy, a rejuvenated Herb Jones, and the return of Jose Alvarado proved too strong. Let's talk about it today on Flock.
Ready?
So g'day everyone and welcome to Flock, a New Orleans Pelicans podcast. I am your host, Lyle Swithenbank, at Lyle Swithenbank on Twitter and on TikTok, at Lyle PELS on Instagram. The Pelicans win again. How good's this road trip? You beat Memphis, you beat San Antonio 104-95. You're up by 20 at one point. They come on a miraculous run to actually take the lead in the fourth. And the Pelicans respond. Golly gosh. The refs in this, and I will start with the refs, and then we'll talk about the game. That was some of the worst refereeing I've ever seen in an NBA game. I have no issues with calling fouls. I have no issues with letting things go, letting the guys play. Quick game's a good game. Less free throws, the better, I see. What you can't have is 17 attempts to 32. And that's where they were playing foul game to finish the game. So it was actually around 13 attempts to 32 attempts in free throws. That is outrageous. We compound that when the Pelicans absolutely smashed the Spurs in paint points. There was an 18-point discrepancy in paint points. That is not conducive with consistent umpiring. That was shit. And now I'll put a pin in it. I won't blame the refs anymore because it couldn't stop us anyway. But they needed a little bit of training because that was, as I said, shit. So, the Pelicans defeat the San Antonio Spurs 104-95, an arm wrestle of a game. And one that, if you're a betting man, you'd be putting all your money on the Spurs. The Pelicans had no business being competitive in this one. However, we have had a lot of close games with this team. We've had overtime, I think twice overtime in this, against these guys, and then a really hard-fought battle once again with the Spurs, which I was nervous, but also as you get healthier and you start working out what's working and what's not, you're all of a sudden able to adapt. Victor Wembanyama is all-world, fantastic player. I thought we did a really good job on him. Anytime he started getting going, we started to adapt, and I was really impressed with that. So, quarter by quarter, arm wrestle of a first quarter, back and forth. We started slow, which we seem to do. New starting lineup again. Same as the last game with Herb returning. So it's Herb, Saddiq, Zion, Queen, and Trey Murphy. And when you're not playing with a point guard, it means on the defensive end you can switch with everyone. The difficulty is that they can also put smaller guys on some of your bigger guys and disrupt them. So what we saw is Stephon Castle go to Derek Queen to start the game. And they started with a turnover because he was able to get up under Derek Queen and turn the ball over straight away. As DQ gets more used to playing at an NBA pace and getting more reps under him, he will be able to adapt to that. And I thought further through the game he was better. But it was an interesting matchup, starting a point guard or, a smaller guy on a center, but it was effective for them. And it meant that the Pelicans had to adjust and move the ball and find other ways to create. And at times, particularly on the massive run, which we'll get to, at the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth for the Spurs. That's what they managed to do. So, first quarter, 28-25. Pelicans drag it back. Return of Jose, as I said, he was very good. I thought he hit a couple of threes. Carlo brought that energy off the bench, and we saw a bit of change in the rotation. Jordan Poole did not play in this game, and I don't know whether or not that's the writing on the wall, but it was a bit telling after playing 12 minutes the game before. Jose has essentially just taken his minutes and some. Second quarter, the Pelicans go on a massive run, 31-19, and held the Spurs to under 50 in the first half, which is the first time we've done that this year, so credit to the PELS. What I liked in that first half is that it was ball movement. It was good defense, it was moving the ball, shots were going down, playing off of Zion, and also having Zion be aggressive. When he got the ball, he moved with purpose. And what we've seen recently is that because there's so many mouths to feed on the offensive end, Zion sometimes get lost because they'll also just load up on him and say anyone else can beat us. That's been really good for Trey Murphy, Saddiq Bey, but if those guys aren't firing, well, it all starts to unravel. What I liked is that Zion moved with intention, and he attacked the basket like a man possessed. Maybe it's an audition for new shoe companies to come and pick him up, but he looked as good as advertised. I thought he was great tonight. Third quarter, 21-26. The Pelicans win that quarter, but the Spurs started getting going. They really pushed. The Pelicans, the last 4 minutes of the third quarter, did not score a field goal, which we can't keep having those dry spells. Thankfully, the last quarter, 22-27, as the Spurs continued to push, the Pelicans managed to break I think it was a 13-0 run, and then go on their own 7-0 run to close the game out. And as soon as they got down, they adjusted, got the guys back in, got their heads together, and got a few easy buckets. We play best when the ball moves. As soon as we start getting challenged and start going into isolation, I thought JB was quite good in calling a timeout and running a play where it was an easy basket. And all of a sudden, we're back in that rhythm of, no, we don't just need to go up and down playing in transition. Let's get an easy basket, readjust, and we go from there. I thought that was really good. So, field goals, 102-81. And this was something that Pelicans did very well, was get themselves second chance opportunities. We killed them in second chance points. We were really, really good in that, and that was all down to effort. Guys tipping the ball. There was a great, tipped rebound from Jeremiah Fears, which resulted in them not getting a rebound. We got a second chance off that. There were Zion was good with the offensive glass. Misi was really good, as he has been in the last few games. Carlo had a great one out of the corner, and what I liked is that we were playing with that intention. I'm going to continue to say that because what we saw was guys recognizing the positions they were in, and instead of just watching, getting themselves involved, whether that was moving with good cuts, whether it was bailing out. There was a great pass where Jose got himself caught under the basket, passed to Zion, who just about ripped the ring off. He was great in that. So 102 field goal attempts were 40%, 41 of 102 to their 39%. And if you're going to hold a team like that to 39.5% for a whole game, 32 of 81, you're going to do yourself a pretty good effort in winning this game. The Pelicans, again, 26% from 3, 9 of 34 to their 12 of 44. Again, we live and die in the paint, right? And the issue is that if you can't shoot threes, there are going to be teams that do get hot and just bury you, and we've seen that all season. Hitting 9 threes for a game is just not enough in the modern NBA. Even if you are going to live and die in the paint, if the defense collapses to take that away, you need to have that threat. And I thought Trey was good, Saddiq was solid from outside, but it's about getting more and more shooters and maybe shooting specialists to really bolster that team and give Zion the space that he needs to operate. Because when he does have the space, man, oh man, he's incredible. Free throws, as we said, we were quite good. 76%, 13 of 17. And, I mean, I'm sure someone's already mixed up a missed call highlight reel of the fouls that the Pelicans copped tonight. They were getting hacked to absolute living daylights. To the Spurs, 59%. And, does ball lie? The old saying, ball don't lie. And they were 19 of 32 from free throws. Basketball gods decided to look after us in this one. Assists 23 to 22. Again, when you're only shooting 40% from the field, that's where the assists go, right? Total rebounds, 58 to 46. We smashed them. And that was with Wemby getting 16 rebounds. We absolutely smacked them. Eve was great. Zion got 10. Derek Queen, I think, had over 10 as well. It was really impressive effort. Gang rebounding, finishing that defensive possession, and offensive rebounds, 19 to 10. That's what I love. That's all opportunities to get yourself another go. We were getting 2 for $1. Herb Jones hit a 3, and that was based off an offensive rebound. I love that. We managed to keep them to 5 blocks as a team. We had 5 as well, but when you've got Victor Wembanyama, that means what you're doing is keeping him away from the basket, making him come out and defend further away, and getting easy looks. And that's what I liked. Get rid of that shot blocker. Get your body up under him so he can't block the shot. And I thought we did well with that. Points off turnovers, 14 to 12 in favour of the Spurs. So not too bad. Total turnovers, we had 10 and they had 11. So not a sloppy game in terms of that. Some live ball turnovers were just atrocious. But you live with that when you win. And I thought this was one of those games that was quite fun to watch. I thought we did really well. And yes, I was raging when they let them evaporate a 20-point lead because we were absolutely smacking the living daylights out of them, let them back into the game. But what I liked is they calmed down and closed this game out. And Antonio Daniels talked about it on the broadcast. In these clutch games, it's all well and good to be in them because we've been in plenty of close games this year, but about learning to win them is the next step. And when you are starting to win these, well, that is really the next step in your effort. Fun fact, Herb Jones back in his last, with JB as a coach and Herb Jones playing, was 7-1 in the last 8 games. That, to me, is a telling stat. I think Herb Jones makes everyone better. Every time he's on the court, we play better. I think he is just excellent. So, let's go to the box score. 33 minutes for Saddiq, 24 and 10, 4 assists, 1 steal, no block, 7 of 15, 3 of 7, 42%, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. He was aggressive, 0 turnovers. He was a plus 22. Is that the best on ground? That is best on ground for us. He was excellent once again. And like we said in the last game, this looked like a guy that was playing with confidence. His body was feeling good. He'd had that, contusion, which I love to say. It looks like he's completely shaken that off, got in rhythm, and they're using him in an effective way, playing off of Zion, playing off of Trey. And I love when he's aggressive. Zion Williamson, 33 minutes and 15 seconds, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 0 steals, but 1 block, 10 of 18. 4 of 5 from the free throw line, and only 1 turnover, plus 17. So, in the post-game interview on the sideline, Saddiq Bey comes up to Zion and he says, thanks, twin. The same size, same build, 24 and 10 each, 4 assists each, 1 defensive stat each, handful of free throws each. Saddiq shoots threes, but it's pretty cool to be able to have 2 guys get 24 and 10 and 4. Anyway, just numbers thing. Derek Queen in 17 minutes, 4 points, 4 rebounds. He had an assist, and he was only 2 of 7 in this one. He struggled again against Wemby. Luke Cornett gave him a bit of the business. And Derek Queen seems to have really hit that rookie wall. I think the same for Jeremiah Fears, although Jeremiah Fears has been solid since going back to the bench. I thought he was okay in this one as well. But the reality is, I think James Borrego said this either at one of the training interviews or in a post-game, is that the rookies have just played a college season. they have a whole nother college season to play. If you aren't getting run down for the amount of minutes they're having to play in their first season, it would be more of a surprising thing. I think all the rookies are starting to slow down. Dylan Harper was, average in this one. It sounds like he's dropped off a little bit. I don't know how Cooper Flagg's going because I don't care about the Mavericks whatsoever. But, I think the emergence of Yves Messi has meant that we haven't had to rely on DQ quite as much. And when you've got other guys creating, 9 assists for Trey Murphy in this game, that's exactly what we need, is other creators. Spoiler alert. So Trey Murphy, 37 minutes, nearly 38. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 of 22 in this one, 3 of 11. He only had 1 free throw, but he missed it, plus 13, 1 turnover on that as well. What I liked about Trey is that he took that facilitator role on. Only 17 points on 22 shots. He would have been annoyed with himself, right? But he also had 9 assists. He had 6 rebounds. He was doing other things. And also, he was getting manhandled, and they were taking everything away from him. So what I like from Trey there is that recognition. I don't have it going. When the shot's there, I'll take it. If it's not, I'll put someone else in a position to be successful. Zion, Saddiq Bey. Herb Jones, 28 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 4 of 10 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, no turnovers, plus 21. It's the Herb Jones effect, baby. That is the Herb Jones effect. Yves Messi off the bench played 30 minutes, 10 and 14 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 4 of 11 shooting, 2 of 2 free throws, 6 offensive rebounds, only 1 turnover, plus 9. And he had 5 personal fouls, so did Derek Queen, 4 for Carlo, but that 4 for Herb Jones as well. But that was because the refs are calling everything, and you couldn't touch them on the other side. So, but they could do whatever they wanted to us. I thought Yves was really good. There's still development. You're playing on Victor Wembanyama. I thought you did very well. I thought he wrestled correctly. He was rebounding. There was a couple of, errant travels or double dribbles where he just got himself a little bit away from where he wanted to be and had to improvise. And unfortunately, the body moved quicker than the brain did and had a turnover. But the reality is he was active. He was dunking the ball. He was defending. And I've been really impressed with what Yves was doing. Carlo off the bench, quiet one for him, 11 minutes, 2 points and a rebound, and hit his 1 shot. Gave him a minus 14, but he was fine. Fears off the bench, 16 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 of 9. Loved the little floater that he did. Got into the paint and used that giant killer. It was very clever. Couple of turnovers. He was a minus 4. I like him better on the bench at the moment. As a rookie, I think putting him in positions to be successful where he doesn't have to be the primary ball handler, he can be, and he just has to think about scoring. I think that's the best thing for his development at the moment, all right? As he continues to get reps, he'll continue to improve, but there's no point getting him out there and just getting flogged relentlessly because we'll just keep losing games, which doesn't really matter because we don't have a draft pick. Win or lose, whatever. Micah Peavy, 18 minutes. He had 0 points, 2 rebounds, 0 of 4 in this one. He wasn't as good as he was in the last one. Minus 10. And Jose, 13 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. 2 of 5 from 3. Had no turnovers, minus 12. So the bench was definitely, well, what they're saying is not the best, but the rest of it, they're doing okay. So, key takeaways of this one. What I liked from the Pelicans in this is that they move the ball, they work together, and they played with intention. Saddiq Bey, Zion, they played with a chip on their shoulder. Like, no, why do we just have to lose? I loved what I saw tonight. And getting that health, no Jordan Poole in this one. And we'll talk about some trade rumblings for Ja Morant in a second. But what we saw was a team playing with intention, putting their stars in a position to be successful and knocking shots down. being active on the offensive glass. If we can't shoot threes, what advantages do we have? Well, your advantage is that you're uber athletic. Go and get the offensive rebounds. Give yourself another chance to score. Get active on that. We're fast enough to get back in transition for the most part. And I thought that was really good. Another key takeaway, Saddiq Bey's great. That's 2 great games in a row. I love the rebounding, 10 rebounds for him. And across the board, you had 3 guys get over 10 rebounds. And Missy nearly had 14. That was great. But, Saddiq Bey has been that calming presence inside and out, bullying the ball. When we needed a bucket, he goes and gets one. And that's been really good. He's patient. He's professional. He's a very good player. And the final key takeaway is, I don't know what this team is. We're obviously bad. We've lost a lot of games. But when they play like this and play with some freedom, that's where they really come across as, the flashes of potential. You can be fun and bad. You can't be bad and ugly, and I think earlier on in this season, that's what it's been like. But when you've got a team like this that are young, that are running, that are playing free, playing fun, this is what Pelicans fans want to see. So play more like that. Crash the glass. Cause chaos. Because other teams aren't going to be able to react as quickly as you guys know what you're doing. Get up there. All right, I'm rebounding again. No, there's no easy rebounds in this game. I've got 2 more points. Now I'm running back. Herb Jones will tell me where I need to be on defense. Now it's really difficult. We're going to get smacked in some of these games. But be competitive. Move the ball. And play with intention, and that's all I can ask. So, with that being said, we'll pivot from there. The Pelicans, according to Scoop B, had been very aggressive in going after Ja Morant. So, we know Ja Morant well. He is the Memphis star. He's had a bit of controversy throughout, but they're all sort of saying that the Pelicans had reportedly offered a trade of Jordan Poole and DeJounte Murray, so obviously get rid of a bit of salary, for Ja Morant and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Now, on paper, it gets rid of $60 million of salary of guys that, for the Pelicans, that aren't playing. Gets you a superstar in Ja Morant. If he gets any way, sort of form of what he's had throughout history, that would be really great for us. And KCP, who's a professional 3-and-D guy, exactly the sort of player that we need if we were to be competitive. Again, we've won 12 games in the whole year. I don't know, you want to be making this move soon if you're going to try to salvage anything from this season. I don't think that would be the case. Now, Memphis pushed back. They wanted a first-round pick, and the Pelicans wouldn't give one up. Now, you can use your assets. I don't have an issue with trading first-round picks if you're going to get an A-grader. Ja Morant's a fantastic player. The upside on the guy, we've seen it. If you can get between his ears and get him to calm down, don't know whether or not we can, there's nothing wrong with that. I think a Zion, Ja Morant pick and roll, lineup is terrifying for teams. Gosh, you think we're athletic at the moment, going out a point guard like that. Also, it puts Jeremiah Fears there to learn from Ja Morant and another athletic guard who's an inside-dominated player who can start to develop outside. Use the first-round pick, but protect it. Don't give him an unprotected pick, or give him a pick swap. Give him something like that. You also don't need to do it, you can't do next year's because you trade this year's. Do it in a way that allows you to hedge some sort of risk. We know what this team is. Zion, Ja, they miss time. Trey's missed time. Herb misses time. If you are serious about going and getting this guy, you need to hedge your bets a little bit. And that has to be the argument. I wouldn't give up an unprotected first rounder. if it means that you give up a first and a pick swap down the line, then roll the dice. But I wouldn't overcapitalise at this trade deadline and, trade everything and try to build a win now roster before the deadline. If you can get Ja Morant now, play the season out, see what you can do, what you can salvage, what you can create. In the off-season, get all your pieces laid out, and that's what you do. But you can't have a foot in each camp. If you're going to try to win by going and getting Ja Morant, you have to have a plan. You can't just be wishy-washy and think, oh, well, we've got Ja Morant now, so we can chill out. We don't have to develop anyone else. Well, you've got Derek Queen, you've got Jeremiah Fears. Where do they fall into the plan? Is it that, okay, they're just coming off the bench, they'll continue to develop? That's fine. But if you address this point guard issue, you then need to go and build a team around those two guys that complement them. KCP is a good pickup. Other three-point shooting defenders is what you need to look at. So, and perhaps if you have Zion and Ja, you may be able to attract talent. I don't know. But I'm glad we're in the mix. I would like Ja Morant on my team. I genuinely would. But we've seen what Trey Young went for. And I don't think Ja Morant is worth much more than what market is at the moment, particularly given the history of the guy. So, that being said, watch this space. If we hear anything, we'll continue to update you on here. But otherwise, I think we'll leave it at that. The Pelicans win 2 in a row. The next game we have, I think, is the Thunder in a couple of days. So, I look forward to that. Yes, on Tuesday night, we play the Thunder. So that is going to be a tricky one. But, again, a good test. You just beat the Spurs. Could you beat the Thunder? I don't know. Have a crack. Why not? So, with that being said, let's leave it at that. This has been Flock, a New Orleans Pelicans podcast. I'm your host, Lyle Swithenbank, at Lyle Swithenbank on Twitter, on TikTok, at Lyle PELS on Instagram. Head over there, check it out. We keep that moving now and then. We get some reels and things like that. But otherwise, stay safe. And of course, bye for now.